Hey, welcome back to Brainstorming English. Spark ideas, build on others. I'm Zach, your co-host, coffee in hand and ready to kick off a fresh conversation.
And I'm Emily. Today we're getting practical about brainstorming, those energetic idea sessions where a team throws out thoughts fast, then shapes them into something useful.
Why does it matter? Because in real life, meetings, class projects, creative work, you need language that helps you start ideas, build on others, and sometimes challenge politely without killing momentum.
Quick note on words. When we say brainstorm, we mean a fast, open flow of ideas. Spark means to start something, like lighting a match. Simple words, but powerful in a meeting.
A story. Last month, I joined a product meeting where everyone was quiet. Then someone said, "What if we keep the app simple for first-time users?" That one line unblocked the room. People jumped in with, "Building on that," and it changed the tone.
What actually flipped the switch? Was it the idea or the way it was shared?
The way. We time-boxed the discussion. That means we set a strict limit, 10 minutes, just for first ideas. I wrote a quick rule on the board. Piggyback allowed. Piggyback means you can build on someone else's point without starting from zero.
That reminds me of a design workshop I ran. I added a parking lot, a corner of the board for good ideas that don't fit the current question. When someone wandered off topic, I'd say, "Great, parking lot that." It kept focus without shutting anyone down.
So, quick recap. Clear purpose, simple ground rules, and language that keeps the energy moving. Little listening cues help too. Nods, and short paraphrases like, "So you're suggesting a simple first version." It tells people you're with them.
Tiny vocabulary boost. Facilitator is the person guiding the session. They help the team stay focused and balanced, not bossy. More like a traffic guide for ideas.
Today, you'll hear real phrases in action, proposing ideas, building on suggestions, and challenging gently with questions like, "Have we considered?" By the end, you'll feel ready to speak up in your next meeting or group project.
If this kind of practical English helps you, tap subscribe, share the show with a friend, and leave a quick note about what situations you want us to cover next. Your ideas shape our episodes.
One more thought. Brainstorming is about drafts, not perfection. It's okay to offer a rough idea and let the group shape it. That's iteration, improving step by step.
All right, let's dive in. Next up, how to propose an idea clearly. Tone, rhythm, and a simple structure that makes people lean in. Let's dig a little deeper into proposing ideas clearly. The goal isn't to sound perfect. It's to sound easy to agree with. Clear frames, warm tone, and intentional intonation can turn a risky idea into a safe next step.
Here's a simple structure I use. Frame, benefit, open question. The frame sets context in one sentence. The benefit names why it helps the team. Then, an open question invites replies, not silence. It feels collaborative from the first breath.
Quick story. I was in a London meeting where the room felt tense. I said, "What if we run a small 2-week pilot to learn fast?" I kept my voice steady with a gentle fall at the end. Not uptalk. Uptalk is when your voice rises and can sound unsure. The fall made it sound practical, not pushy.
How did people react? Was it the words or that calm landing at the end of the sentence?
Both. I paused before speaking, kept it concise. Concise just means short and clear. And I smiled while I said it. Then I added the benefit. It reduces risk and gives us real data. Heads nodded. The intonation told them, "This is manageable."
That reminds me of a remote design sprint. I tried, "We request rebuild onboarding," and hit a wall. I switched to, could we try a lightweight walkthrough this week? Softer tone, slower pace. That little could we is a hedge, a softener that keeps the door open. Tentative doesn't mean weak, it means flexible.
Speaking of tone, I picture an arc. Start friendly, rise slightly on the key idea, then land with a gentle fall. It signals confidence without barking orders. If I truly want discussion, I leave a tiny rise on the last word to invite voices in.
Micro technique that helps me. One beat pause before the big idea, then anchor it to a goal with because. Anchor here means tie your idea to something the team already values, speed, quality, or the customer's time. People relax when they hear the why.
Vocabulary pit stop. Feasible means realistic to do with our time and tools. Assumption is something we believe is true but haven't proven. When I propose, I name one assumption and how the idea tests it. That shows responsibility.
Quick recap. Frame the context, speak the benefit, land your voice, and invite replies. I often say, here's the quick win I see, because it saves support tickets. What's the smallest version we could test? It's clear and opens the floor.
When an idea is half-baked, I label it rough sketch. Sketch just means a quick version. I also limit the scope, the size of the idea, so it feels safe. 2 screens, not the whole app. The tone stays light, the door stays open. How do you handle nerves, Zach? I notice speed creeps in when people get excited. The faster they talk, the less persuasive they sound.
I put one fingertip on the table to slow myself down and aim for a steady tempo. Tempo just means speed. I also lower my volume a notch at the end of the key sentence. It sounds confident, not aggressive. The room leans in.
Nice. So, proposing ideas clearly is less about fancy words and more about the path you build. Context, benefit, calm landing, open question. Try one small change in your next meeting. Even a one-beat pause can change the room.
Up next, let's shift gears into building on suggestions. How to add momentum with language that says yes and without losing focus. All right, building on suggestions. This is where yes and turns a single spark into a bonfire. Instead of competing, we connect ideas so the room feels momentum, not a debate.
I felt that last week in a crowded workshop. 2 people pitched strong, different solutions. Rather than choose, I said, yes, and if we start with the quick template, we can layer personalization later. Shoulders relaxed. The and lowered the temperature.
What made it land, your words or the timing? Did you set any rules before that moment?
Both. I summarized each idea in one line, then bridged them. I also named a constraint. We've got 1 week. Constraint just means a limit. Time, budget, people. Limits help ideas meet in the middle.
In a remote brainstorm, I did something similar with Slack threads. I wrote, thread A is about speed, thread B is about trust. What's our overlap? A thread is a chain of related messages. Labeling helped people merge, not argue.
That reminds me of synthesizing, turning many notes into one clear theme. Synthesize means combine parts into a whole. I said, I'm hearing early wins and long-term polish. The pattern is simple first, elegant later. People could see the path.
I like a move called merge and test. 2 teams argued, in-app tips versus a help center. I said, let's prototype a 90-second walkthrough and link deeper help. Prototype means a quick model. One tiny test answered both sides.
Process note. We often diverge, then converge. Diverge is spread out with many options. Converge is come together and choose. Naming the phase stops people from judging too early or staying open forever.
Quick recap. Yes and to connect, a short summary to show listening, call out constraints, label threads, then synthesize a shared pattern. Notice how each step protects energy instead of stopping it.
Pitfall alert. The sneaky yes but. It sounds like agreement and then erases it. I caught myself doing it and switched to yes, and the risk I see is X. How could we reduce it? Also watch for scope creep, when goals quietly get bigger.
Another trap is grabbing the mic. When I feel that urge, I ask a nudge question. Where could this be simpler? Or what piece belongs first? It keeps ownership with the group. A 1-minute time box keeps it crisp.
Micro cues matter. Nod, echo a key word, then add your layer. I'll say, accessibility, yes, and a single high contrast mode covers most cases. Echoing shows alignment before you add direction.
If you try one thing this week, make it the summary bridge. I'm hearing A and B, the overlap is C. It's simple, respectful, and it moves the room forward.
Speaking of moving forward, next we'll talk about challenging gently. How to question assumptions without stopping the flow.
Let's talk about polite challenge, the art of raising a risk without freezing the room. For me, it starts with hedging, not hiding. I soften the edge so people can hear the idea, not just the pressure.
Same here. Last quarter, I sat in a startup pitch review where everyone loved a bold launch date. I took a breath and said, I'm wondering if the support team could handle week 1 volume. What would make this fail? It didn't kill the vibe. It opened the map.
How did they take it? Sometimes one tricky question can feel like a storm cloud over the whole meeting.
They leaned in because the tone was gentle and specific. Quick word note. Hedge means to soften a strong claim. I added, I'm about 60% convinced the date works. The risk I see is staffing. Numbers like that show humility and invite data, not drama.
In a sales planning session, I said, help me understand the assumption behind this target. Assumption is something we treat as true without proof. Then I added, one risk I see is churn after the promo. How could we mitigate that? Mitigate means reduce the harm.
Speaking of that, I love the word trade-off. It means choosing one benefit while giving up another. I told a designer, if we optimize for speed, our cost might rise. Which trade-off do we prefer this sprint? Then I paused. The pause does half the work.
I'll also ask for a risk rating, green, yellow, or red. What's our risk appetite? Appetite means how much risk we're willing to accept to reach a goal. Once that's clear, challenge feels like alignment, not attack.
Pitfall alert. The harsh, that'll never work. I replace it with a question anchored to reality. What would make this a non-starter for legal? Non-starter means we can't proceed. Framing it this way saves face and gets specifics on the table.
In a workshop, I rotated 3 questions as my toolkit. I asked, have we considered the maintenance cost? Later, what would have to be true for the timeline to hold? And what assumption are we most nervous about? The pattern is curiosity first, judgment later.
Tone carries the message. I keep my voice low and steady, and I end with a soft fall or a gentle rise if I want answers. Palms open, shoulders relaxed. I might paraphrase. So, the upside is speed, the risk is quality. Did I get that right?
Quick recap. Label the uncertainty, ask a curious question, name the trade-off, and propose a safeguard. A safeguard can be a contingency plan, a backup route, or a fallback metric like, if error rates hit X, we pause. Now, challenge becomes safety engineering.
Nerves are real. When my heart races, I slow one sentence and add a softener. At first glance, or I might be missing something, but those phrases give people permission to correct or build, which is all we need.
Quick story. An engineer defended a feature deadline like a shield. I asked, "What's the worst case if we move it one sprint?" He exhaled, then admitted the downside was mostly pride, not users. Downside just means the negative effect. The tension melted.
So, polite challenge isn't being soft, it's being precise and humane. Ask clear questions, name assumptions, and tie risks to actions. Up next, we'll connect this to active listening, the signals that help people feel safe while you explore tough issues.
Let's dig into active listening and facilitation, the tiny signals that keep a brainstorm clear and kind. When I'm facilitating, I think in 3 moves. Show I'm listening, reflect what I heard, then guide the time so ideas don't pile up.
That reminds me of a remote workshop last month. Cameras were off, energy was low, and ideas were drifting. I jumped in with a gentle paraphrase. So, you're suggesting a short tutorial for first-time users, right? Paraphrase just means say the idea again in simple words. The moment I did that, 2 voices jumped in and added details. It was like opening a window.
Nice. I use a quick echo plus a check. Tutorial for first-timers. Did I get that? That little question invites correction without ego. Then I add a listening cue. A nod, or a thumbs-up emoji online to show the floor is still theirs.
Vocabulary pit stop. Facilitator is the person guiding the flow, not the boss, the guide. And mirroring is repeating a key word someone said to help them expand. If a designer says onboarding, I'll mirror onboarding and pause. 9 times out of 10, they give the useful detail we needed.
Speaking of pauses, I count a slow 3 after a big point. Silence feels scary, but it invites quieter voices. I also timebox. Timebox means we set a fixed limit, like 8 minutes for first ideas. Limits create focus and protect energy.
Quick story. We were planning a feature for a charity app. 2 strong speakers dominated. I said, round robin for 1 minute, 1 idea per person. Round robin just means we go one by one. I kept a visible timer and wrote 1 breath, 1 point on the board. The shy developer shared a simple fix that solved our main problem.
And when ideas wander, I use a parking lot. It's a corner of the board for good but off-topic ideas. I'll say, let's park the analytics deep dive and return after we choose the first week MVP. People feel heard, and we stay on track.
Quick recap. Visible listening, nods, echoes, short paraphrases, mirroring key words, and smart time tools, timeboxing, round robin, parking lot. These don't shut people down. They keep ideas moving in one direction.
How do you paraphrase without sounding like a parrot, Emily? Sometimes repeating too closely feels weird.
I paraphrase the outcome, not every word. Like, so the win is faster sign up because we removed 2 steps. Outcome means the result. Adding a short because ties the idea to a goal, which helps the group decide faster.
I also label the stage. We're diverging for 5 more minutes, then we converge. Diverge means open up options. Converge means choose. Labeling avoids the classic mistake, debating too early or never deciding.
One more facilitation nudge I love is the 2Q method. Quick reactions go first, deeper dives second. It gives fast thinkers space, but protects the careful builders too. It feels fair, and fairness keeps trust high.
So, if you try just one thing, try this mini loop. Mirror a key word, paraphrase the outcome with a clear because, then set a short time box. Small actions, big clarity. Next up, we'll put it all together in a realistic mini brainstorm. Let's run a guided role play, a real brainstorm you can picture. Scenario: we're improving sign-up for a fitness app. Goal: reduce drop-off on day 1. I'll facilitate and timebox 8 minutes for first ideas, then we'll converge on one small test.
I'll jump in as the designer. What if we greet new users with a friendly coach message and a 2-step tour? The benefit is less confusion on the first screen. Could we pilot it with 10% of users? Pilot just means a small test.
Echoing that, coach message plus a tiny tour. Did I get it? Building on that, we could add a soft progress bar so people know there are only 2 steps. Progress bars reduce anxiety because they show an endpoint.
Wearing the engineer hat for a second, I'd say it's feasible if we keep it lean. Prototype this week: a single welcome card and 1 tooltip. Prototype means a quick model to learn from, not the final thing.
I'll speak as support lead. I'm 70% confident, but I see one risk: message overload. We could mitigate it by adding a skip for now link and a help icon that opens a short FAQ. Mitigate means reduce the harm, not ignore it.
Quick facilitation move. Round robin for 30 seconds. 1 more idea each, then we pick. I'll go. Add a clear benefit line under the sign up button. Start in under a minute. Short microcopy like that sets expectations. Microcopy means small, helpful text.
My turn. Let's tag ideas on the board. A. Coach message. B. 2-step tour. C. Progress bar. D. Skip plus help. E. Benefit line. Now synthesize. I'm hearing friendly guidance, minimal steps. The overlap is a light tour with an exit and 1 promise line.
Yes, and here's a simple measure. Activation rate. How many people finish sign up, and a follow-up metric. Completion time. Metric just means a number we track. If both improve, we keep it. If time slows, we adjust the copy or remove the tooltip.
Polite challenge. What would make this fail? Maybe low contrast on the progress bar, or too much text in the coach message. Trade-off alert. We want clarity without clutter. Which words are essential to move, not distract?
Constraint check. We have 1 week. So we choose the smallest version that still teaches. 2 cards, not a tour. Card 1, benefit line. Card 2, permission to skip and a help icon. If support tickets spike, we pause. Spike just means a sudden jump.
Quick recap of language in action. We framed with what if, built with building on that, hedged with I'm 70% confident, named the risk and mitigation, and used a time box and round robin to keep pace. Notice how each step protected momentum.
How do you close a session like this, Zach, without losing the energy we just built?
I use a 2-way door test. If a decision is easy to reverse, we decide now. 2-way door means we can change it later. Then I name owner, next step, and win. Emily owns copy. I'll ship the prototype. We review Friday at 10.
And we capture 1 takeaway each. Mine. Keep it light but helpful. 1 promise line, one escape hatch. Takeaway means the key lesson you carry out. That tiny formula travels well to any meeting.
So that's our mini brainstorm. Clear frame, friendly build, precise challenge, simple decide. Keep the loop short and ideas stay alive. Next, we'll look at common mistakes and quick upgrades that make collaboration feel easy. Let's talk about the classic mistakes that quietly break collaboration and quick upgrades that fix them. I see four all the time. The yes but blocker, talking too fast, ideas that are too big, and debating before we're ready to choose.
That reminds me of a late-night feature meeting. Two teams argued like it was a sport. I almost said, "Yes, but your plan." Then I switched to a summary bridge. I'm hearing speed from Team A and trust from Team B. Yes, and we can start simple, then add layers. The room exhaled. Derail just means push a meeting off its track. And yes, but derails fast.
Speed is another trap. When I get excited, my words sprint and people stop following. My upgrade is to shrink the idea. What's the smallest version that still teaches us something? Also, I watch for scope creep, when the plan grows bigger without anyone deciding it.
Speaking of deciding too soon, I label the stage. We're diverging for 5 minutes, then we converge. Diverge means open options. Converge means choose. I add a tight time box, a fixed limit, so we don't wander. It sounds simple, but it protects energy.
Another mistake is the vague question. Any thoughts? It invites silence or monologues. I upgrade it to 2 doors. Quick reactions first, deeper dives second. Or I try, what would make this stronger? When a decision is reversible, a 2-way door, we decide now and move.
Ownership gets slippery. After a big brainstorm, nobody knows who does what. My fix? 1 owner, 1 metric, 1 date. Metric means a number we track, like completion rate or bugs. I literally write it on the board so it becomes real, not wishful thinking.
Quiet voices get lost too. I'll run a 1-minute silent write, then round robin, 1 idea per person. The silence helps people think, and the order gives them space. It's amazing how many good ideas were there, just waiting.
Absolutes cause fights. Words like always and never raise walls. I swap them for softer frames. Often, so far, or I might be missing something. It keeps curiosity alive while we test the idea.
Another upgrade, name the assumption and test it. Assumption means something we believe without proof. I'll ask, what would have to be true for this to work? Then we design a tiny test to check that one thing first.
And when someone hijacks the topic, it happens. I use a parking lot. I'll say, "Great call, let's park it and circle back after we pick the pilot." It respects the idea and protects the goal in the same breath.
Quick recap. Replace yes but with yes and plus risk. Slow the tempo, shrink the idea, label the stage, set a time box, and lock in owner metric date. It's a tiny toolkit that turns stress into clarity.
If you try one upgrade this week, write a 1-line decision after your meeting. Owner, metric, date. It travels across teams and languages because it's concrete. Speaking of next steps, let's tie this into a short, friendly wrap-up with final advice.
Let's land the plane with a clean recap. Today we sparked ideas with simple frames, built momentum with yes and, challenged kindly with questions, and kept flow with listening cues and time boxes. Collaboration gets easier when the language feels light and clear.
Final advice from me? Make your idea one breath long. Give a frame and a benefit, then pause. I'll say, quick win for sign up because fewer steps. Benefit just means the positive result someone will feel.
Practice challenge for your next meeting. Run an 8-minute brainstorm. Step 1. Diverge. Gather quick ideas. Step 2. Converge. Pick one tiny test. Use these lines in the flow. What if, building on that, and have we considered? Close with owner, metric, date.
And if a decision is a two-way door, easy to reverse, decide now. Two-way door just means you can change it later without big pain. Save your deep debates for one-way doors, the choices that are hard to undo.
If nerves hit, slow your tempo and land your voice with a gentle fall. I tried that in a Monday stand-up. Small 2-screen pilot because support is swamped. The room relaxed, we chose a tiny test, and momentum came back.
Quick micro checklist you can screenshot in your head. Context, benefit, calm landing, open question. Then mirror a keyword, paraphrase the outcome, set a short time box. It's a portable routine for any team, any language mix.
We'd love to hear how your challenge goes. What worked, what surprised you, and your biggest takeaway. Takeaway means the main lesson you carry out of the room. Share it with us so we can build on your wins next time.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If this helped you speak up with more ease, tap subscribe and send the episode to a teammate. See you in the next brainstorm. Bring your spark, and we'll help you build on it.